It's your boy Crypto Blood. Hope you guys doing well. Happy New Year's Eve. Hope you guys are getting it in today or tonight. You will be. Make sure you guys be safe though. No drinking and driving. But yeah, man, happy New Year's Eve. Another year, people. This year has been phenomenal for most of us in the crypto space. I know you guys will probably have a lot to be grateful for, and I know I do. And so I just want you guys to be safe out there and enjoy the day, evening, and night. I actually recorded a hour-long, we call kind of the kickoff, block party kickoff with Nick from Truth Blitz. But on some human error on my end, I did not have the input for him routed through the right device. So all that went down the drain. We're going to do that again, hopefully later today or tomorrow. We'll put that back up. But let's get right into Marco's Crypto Christmas Countdown. This is the very last pick of the year. Or of the month, I should say, from Marco. So let's check it out. Let's see what we got here. Drum roll, please. Veritasium. Yes, sir. Save the best for last, maybe, huh? So Veritasium, if you guys don't know, you should know. The token symbol is VERI. Current price is $335. Marco's price was $30, which hindsight, that's a good price. But if you were in it at $30, that's kind of late because it came out. ICO was about $6 all the way down to I think $2 or $3. So some people even have more than 1,000%. That's more like 10,000% return year to date on Veritasium, which is insane. These are like once in a lifetime type moves right here. But we'll see more of this in the coming year with some of these other ICOs for sure. You'll see 10,000 baggers for sure, or what we call 100 baggers. But to give you guys a little background on Veritasium, if you don't know, Veritasium enables software-driven peer-to-peer capital markets without brokerages, banks, or traditional exchanges. So yeah, this is one of the bigger ones for sure, and this is what kicked off a lot of notoriety from Clif on this call, simply because of the returns. And he gave people the heads up on this project well before people even knew how to do ICOs, and it was tough to get into this project. So kudos to Clif on blessing us with this investment for sure. So today, people, we are going to, today isn't going to be anything crypto related. Many of us celebrate the new year, and even more of us don't even know like where conceptually this whole idea of New Year's comes from. It wasn't just here all along. The universe didn't create New Year's. This was human made. So I want to give you guys a video that just a little fun tidbit type of video to give you guys some entertainment on this New Year's Eve day. So check it out, people. Hope you enjoy. Leave your feedback, and I will holler at y'all later.
Humans have existed for millions of years as part of nature. But then something changed, and in an incredibly short amount of time, we terraformed this planet and designed it to fit our needs. As far as we know, we're the first beings to awaken and completely take over a planet. The transition from hunting and gathering to farming and building was so breathtakingly fast that many of our ways of thinking about the world are no longer useful. One of our most outdated ideas is that the most commonly used calendar in the world insists that we live in the year 2016. This distorts our view of our own history and makes it harder to understand who we are as a species, and just how far we've come in an incredibly short amount of time. So maybe it's time to choose a year zero for humanity. A year zero that truly represents us as a species and includes all cultures. A year zero that marks when we began building our own world on top of the old one. "12,000 years ago, hundreds of humans came together in the hills of southern Anatolia. They were hunters and gatherers without knowledge of agriculture or metalworking. All they had were tools made of stone and wood. But they built humanity's first big construction project, 7,000 years before the pyramids were built in Egypt. Spread over 300 meters, our ancestors erected circles of massive stone pillars, each of them up to 6 meters high and 40 tons in weight, decorated with artful pictograms and stone carvings of animals and mythical creatures. We have no idea how they were able to do this. It was probably a project of epic scale for the Stone Age, requiring a level of organization we didn't know early humans were capable of until we found this site. So why did they build it? The most popular theory is that this was the first temple of humanity, dedicated to long-forgotten gods. We only know that this construction project, the first of its kind, marks the beginning of a new era. It's in this area, around that time, that humans truly began to build their own world, which would make it a fitting milestone in our history for the start of our calendar. This moment in time is so distinct that scientist Cesare Emiliani proposed that humanity should switch to what he called the Holocene calendar by adding 10,000 years to our current Gregorian calendar. We don't need to change our well-established days and months, and religious calendars could stay the same as well. But for all official purposes, our current year would be the year 12,016 of the human era. This would drastically alter how we think about history and how it feels. Let's take a very brief look and move through our new history from our new year zero. 12,000 years ago saw the beginning of the first construction project, kicking off our history. It would be in use for about 2,000 years. It took nearly a millennium until Jericho, probably the first city on Earth, was founded in the year 1000 after the start of the human era. Progress was still very, very slow at this point. Over the next 1,000 years, more and more permanent settlements appeared around the world, and more plants and animals were domesticated as agriculture spread. Evidence for trade over thousands of kilometers has been found from this period. Around 5 million humans were alive at this point in history, fewer than live in London today. Technology advanced constantly at a slow pace. Pottery became widespread. The first cultural communities appeared in China, India, and the Fertile Crescent. Around the year 4000, 8,000 years ago from today, humans started to use metal for the first time, learning to mix tin and copper and kickstarting what we know as the Bronze Age around the year 5000. The first proto-writing emerged and the wheel was invented. In South America, the Chinchorro culture started to artificially mummify humans 2,000 years earlier than in ancient Egypt. The first high cultures began emerging around the year 7000. The Indus Valley Civilization, ancient Egypt, the Minoans in Greece, and the Sumerians in Mesopotamia. Stonehenge was built in Britain, and the first dynasty in China began. Ötzi the Iceman lived around this time. What we consider history now started, and things began picking up pace as the world population rose to over 30 million. A number of new high cultures appeared around the world, many writing down their legends. More and more cities were founded. In South America, the Olmec culture emerged. Around this time, the legendary Siege of Troy is supposed to have happened. Soon after, in the Eastern Mediterranean and the Fertile Crescent, the Bronze Age ended in violence. Every Bronze Age culture, except Egypt, was destroyed by mysterious invaders. Writing and progress froze for hundreds of years. Around the year 9500, what we consider Western culture began. The Greek city-states beat off the Persian invasion and triggered their golden era, ended by Alexander the Great around 9700. 100 years later, Rome destroyed Carthage and became a dominant force in the world. Caesar was murdered in the year 9956, while the world population had risen to about 300 million people. And it's only now, around the year 10,000, that we've reached the point where the Gregorian calendar and our current method of marking human history begins. A mere 2,000 years from now, humans will walk on the moon. If we think about history as we do now, we are underplaying 10,000 years of human progress and development. Including all of it in our calendar makes our past more impressive. It shows how progress became exponential with time, and it incorporates all humans from all cultures into our calendar. A new year zero for our history could reframe how we think of ourselves. As a building project that started 12,000 years ago, when for the first time our ancestors came together to carve a temple out of bedrock with tools made of stone, not knowing what they would set in motion, where it would lead us as a species. From building the first temple to ships flying beyond the sky. We've made a Kurzgesagt version of the Human Era calendar that you can buy here if you want. It's a calendar for 2017, but with one important difference. It's for the year 12,017, the year we think we should be in right now. There are only...
Well, there you have it, people. I hope that was informative for you. For those who didn't know, like, you know, we just think that many times it's called normalcy bias. I talk about this all the time, but just because we were born in a certain ideology or thought, that's just how it has always been. So we kind of take that for granted and think it's just how it always has been, and it hasn't. So we're going into 2018, but what does that really mean? You know, it's human, it's made up. We made up 2017. The Gregorian calendar, I should say, is what we all follow, but it's deeper than that, and it's definitely not a true depiction or assessment of the years that our civilization has been on this planet. So leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts about that. Before we get out of here, let me just do this real quick. I want to show you guys, and I updated this on my chart. I sent a tweet out, but this is my latest and greatest update for where we stand in the market right now, people. And look at this. I just want you, I'm gonna zoom in. We have literally bounced just about off the top of Jupiter. That is insane. I drew Jupiter like 2 months ago before we reached the 10,000, about a month and a half ago before we reached 10,000. So it's just amazing that we're colliding with Jupiter. So what I have here are just some basic trend lines. And you see we actually broke out of the trend line. This first one here, I'm going to just mark this. We broke out of the trend line, the downward trend line here. When we broke out, we developed a new one. See how we hit that twice. So that allowed me to draw a new trend line. And what did we do? We ended up hitting the back side of the previous trend line. So that shows that there is some validity with that trend line. But what we want to watch here now, people, if we feel like we're going to see a breakout, and I'm still 25% cash right now, waiting for the next breakout. If we see a close above this area, but every hour it goes out, that area becomes lower. So if you project out here, maybe we see something like this, and maybe it's down here. So you got to update your target every few hours. So that will be, if we end up down here, that's like 13,000. But currently, if we see a breakout above 13.5 ish, we may see a what do you want to call it, a bullish breakout to the upside, and we just keep an eye on it, right? That's all we can do. Hope you guys have a great New Year's. Be safe, be blessed. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out. Holla! Just like I told Coco, my vision is pimping. You already know.